to understand network effects, and I'm going to very quickly touch on it. There's a difference between viral effects and network effects. And so I'd like to suggest that there are two types of businesses. There are producer businesses and there are platform businesses. The first type of business in our data world, being the producer business, is the kind of business that produces a product. Cars, as in you guys, cell phones, physical world products, value creation, typically in these businesses happen inside the company. And then there are platform businesses. Now, platform businesses are businesses where value creation happens outside the company. If you think of Instagram wasn't number one. Spotify was actually ahead of Instagram at one point. And all Instagram did was they learned from their users, reduced the number of taps that were needed to get to the content or to publish content, and they suddenly started to beat Snapchat. Google learns from your interactions. Facebook also learns from your interactions and gives you a very unique news feed compared to my news feed. So the conversion of consumers in the producer world is different to the conversion of consumers in the platform world, because platforms focus on the interactions of people, or the interactions of buyers and sellers, or the interactions of sellers and sellers, or the interactions of buyers and buyers. And so I'm not going to get into the deep nitty-gritty of network effects or platform effects, but with a platform, if you increase the quantity and the quality of the interactions, you increase the value or the valuableness, if that's a word, of the platform itself. Now, AutoTrader was a producer. We were a print business. You all know that. We sold 120,000 magazines. We distributed 200,000. And we were a producer. We produced a magazine. Although our money wasn't made off the cover price of that magazine, we still produced a physical world product. We then became a platform. It was a very difficult transition because we had our wagon tied to this print magazine. So we could have been disrupted very easily, and we probably almost were, by new startups coming into the market and being able to seriously give us a go, because they didn't have magazines to worry about. They didn't have current customers to worry about. They didn't have profitability to worry about. So we could have been disrupted, but fortunately, and touch wood, we weren't. And so we're a platform that is a two-sided marketplace, and so I thought I'd pull out a slide that gives you the power of platforms and the power of this thing called network effects. And if you want to have a conversation with me after this, I'm happy to get into the detail of platforms and the detail of network effects. We don't have the time here now, but I'm very, very happy to have one-on-one sessions with anybody that wants to understand this deeper. It's not a trade secret. I'm an open book to you guys. But there's something unique about platforms, and I'm getting to the link to data and the link to your businesses in a second. And that is, platforms are valuable, and I apologize to BMW. I could have chosen any OEM, and I promise you the picture would have been the same. Okay, but why is it that platforms don't own assets? They're not, in all instances, producers, but they are much more valuable in the world today. Many people think that this is a bubble. And then you've got to ask yourself, well, why isn't it? Why is Uber more valuable than any OEM potentially? Or why is Airbnb more valuable than Marriott? Why is Facebook more valuable than Walt Disney? They do similar things. To understand why this is the case and why it's not a bubble, one needs to understand network effects. And I'm going to very quickly touch on it. There's a difference between viral effects and network effects. Viral effects are unidirectional. They're one-directional. They're very short-lived. And once you've seen a viral video or seen a viral piece of content, You interact with it once and it's over. Whereas network effects, on the other hand, has power in a couple of other areas. And therein lies the digital transformation and the power of data. Some companies struggle to survive the transition to being a digital business. And even if you're a producing business, it doesn't mean you can't be a digital business. And I'm going to give you the example of what I think is both a producing and digital business, a platform business right at the end, which I think you're going to have seen, but the penny's going to potentially drop. So if you can figure out how to create value amongst your customers using data, the more customers you have in aggregate, the more value you can create for each individual customer, not only for your own business, but for each customer amongst themselves. That's the key point. Because old world companies created products or services for customers. In the digital world, companies create value with customers. And I think that's the nuanced difference. Customers create value with and for each other. And many businesses miss that subtlety of with customers as opposed to making something for customers. So co-creation is the heart of digital transformation and using data to your advantage. And if you put all these effects together, you get these 4 key competitive advantages. And those 4 key competitive advantages are if you can vertically integrate. Now, many OEMs in the world have vertically integrated. Some haven't. And you know what vertical integration is. I don't need to explain it to you. Building a brand, key competitive advantage. Every OEM around the screen today is very good at building a brand. Look at what you've done on the planet and in South Africa. Getting to scale is a very, very key competitive advantage. But network effects just take you to the next level. So the secret sauce of AutoTrader are these network effects. And I believe that any business can benefit from these platform and network effects if you use data to your advantage.